Imagine opening your eyes and realizing you are trapped in a world made entirely of ice and death. No food, no warmth, no escape. Just endless white and the people beside you. Most survival stories begin with hope. This one begins with the cold. A cold so brutal, it didn't just freeze bodies. It tried to freeze courage, choices, and the will to stay alive. Yet in that frozen hell, something remarkable happened. A small group of people discovered a truth many never learn. When the world stops caring if you live or die, the only thing that can save you is each other. Before we continue, take a moment to subscribe. Because here, we don't just tell history, we show the part that reveals who we truly are. Our story begins on October 13th, 1972, when a small plane carrying a Uruguayan rugby team flew over the Andes Mountains. They were laughing. They were excited. Some were nervous about the turbulence, but no one expected disaster. And then tragedy struck. The plane clipped a mountain peak. Metal screamed. Wings tore off. The fuselage spun like a dying bird. Inside, people grabbed each other, praying they would survive the impact. Then, silence. When the plane finally stopped sliding, they were on a frozen glacier, 12,000 feet above sea level, in one of the coldest places on Earth. Out of 45 people on board, several died immediately. The survivors crawled out of the wreckage, dazed, bleeding, terrified. They looked around. White mountains, white sky, white death in every direction. No rescue teams, no sign of life. Just a harsh realization. Nobody was coming for them. They were alone. At first, people reacted the way humans always do in moments of shock. Some cried. Some prayed. Some sat silently, staring into the endless snow, but the cold didn't care. The nights were so dark that even hope froze. Yet something strangely powerful began forming among them. A brotherhood, not by blood, not by family, but by the fact that they now had one destiny. They realized they had only two options. Survive together or die together. They chose survival. But survival is not romantic. It is not heroic. It is ugly, painful, and filled with impossible choices. The first challenge was the cold. Temperatures plunged to -30 degrees Celsius. Their clothing was thin, nothing designed for life in the Andes. So they tore apart the plane seats to create blankets. They used the remaining metal to block the wind. They huddled together to share body heat. Next came the hunger. There was almost no food. Gone within days, their stomachs ached. Their bodies weakened. People fainted from starvation. They prayed for rescue planes. And rescue planes did come. But they couldn't see the survivors. The white fuselage blended with the snow perfectly. After days of waiting, the survivors heard the worst news imaginable. The search had been called off. The world believed they were dead. Imagine knowing no one is coming. That moment broke many of them emotionally, but the Brotherhood refused to fall apart. And then came the choice. A choice so dark, so unthinkable, that even saying it out loud felt like a betrayal of humanity. There was only one possible source of food left. The bodies of the people who had died, their teammates, their friends. One of the survivors put it in the simplest way. It was either take nourishment from those who died, or join them. And so they made the choice. Not because they were monsters, but because they wanted to live. They treated the bodies with respect. They prayed for them. They honored them as human beings. It was a painful but ultimately human decision. Weeks turned into months. Avalanches came. Temperatures dropped. People died, but the Brotherhood stayed strong. After 2 months, Nando Parado and Roberto Canessa made a decision that changed everything. They would climb out of the mountains. They took some food, some insulation, and said goodbye. The remaining survivors watched them walk into the white horizon. They kept going, climbing mountains with no gear, walking across ice with no boots, breathing thin air that stole their strength. On the 10th day, starving and near death, they reached the edge of the mountains, and then a miracle. A Chilean shepherd spotted them. Help was coming. A few days later, helicopters flew into the Andes. For the first time in 72 days, they were going home. It wasn't luck. It wasn't fate. It was unity. It was the decision to hold on to each other when everything else fell apart. We didn't survive because we were strong. We survived because we refused to let each other die. When life becomes cold, the kind of cold that enters your spirit, the only warmth left is the people beside you. If this story moved you, subscribe. Now I want to hear your thoughts. If you were stranded, what would keep you alive? Tell me in the comments.